So I'm classified as an educational assistant, and I also do food services in the school that I work at. Well, when I first had children, and my mom had been a secretary for Edmonton Catholic School for years, for 25 years. So I needed a job that would align with my children's schedules and preferably, had benefits. And so I just, I was able to get on with Edmonton Catholic School, and I worked with them for about 6 years. Um, we love our kids. We love our students we work with. We see, a good day for us is when our students have a good day where they're thriving and breaking their own boundaries of their limitations and learning and just having a positive experience in their childhood. A typical day is going from class to class, helping students in core subjects like math and LA primarily. So I, listen to the teacher with them, encourage them to listen as well, and then I take them aside afterwards as needed and go through the instructions, make sure they understand it, work through different strategies depending on their needs, and yeah, and then we just work through what needs to be done in a day and try to get as much done as possible. The pay end is not great. It is, the average educational assistant makes less than $26,000 in a year. I've been doing this job since about 2003, on and off in between when I had children, and my pay has not increased. I am still making the same money now as I made when I started in 2003. Like, I'm not going to lie, my income is supplemented with, child support payments and tax benefits from the government and any subsidized programs I can get for my kids to join activities. Thankfully, I have a family that is able to support me too. I have made trips to the food bank. I have gone to Christmas hamper organizations over the winter holidays, and many of my members have. A lot of my members, have spouses or partners that they can also rely on, so they're bringing in two incomes, and that makes it a little bit easier. But there's at least about 34% of my membership are single parents. A lot of reasons why this job attracts single parents is because of the hours, the benefits, the job security, and that we have a subsystem, so if we're not there, someone else can step in to do our jobs, and that's a lot of benefits. So this job actually does afford me time to raise my own children and spend time with my children. It doesn't afford me the ability to actually support myself or my children. I honestly understand most of the employers do understand the issue. Right now, it is the funding that's coming in that is the biggest hindrance to paying us a fair wage. I mean, and the other problem is that a lot of times we get compared to like the Living Wage Network. But that Living Wage Network is based on if you work 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week, 12 months of the year. And that is not a reality for most support staff and work in education, because there's no capacity for us to work, especially for education assistants, because we are there when the students are there. So that's at most maybe 6 hours a day, 10 months a year. Actually rounds down to about 9 months once you throw in all the extra Christmas holidays and spring breaks. So that isn't a fair comparison. I think we need to compare more to the yearly salary of the Living Wage Network and not the hourly wage. Is that the funding is directed by the Education Minister of the Government of Alberta, and the last 6-8 years, that funding has drastically dropped per student. So there's funding per student, and then there's extra funding for students with special needs. But even those funding numbers have dropped. And it's affecting the schools on every level, whether it's from the district's point of view to down to the school sites, to the programs that we're able to offer. If we continue to have such low funding for students, and that is going to start affecting the programs that we can offer, the supports that they have, the number of support staff that they can have in the building, even the number of teachers. Like they just recently said that they're cutting 6 teachers, I think, from St. Albert. There was a big list of all the school districts that are having to cut teachers, and that in the end it just hurts students. And I have no idea why they would want to reduce funding. Like we already have what they're estimating that another 30 to 60,000 students are going to enter the education system in the next like 2 years. And we don't have the capacity, we don't have the physical capacity of the classrooms to house that many students. We don't have the programs, we don't have the staff. Students are coming into schools with increasing needs, whether it's cognitive or behavioral or actual physical handicaps. And those all have to be addressed, and they have to be supported so that all of these students from every level and every walk of life can thrive in schools and be successful. The solution is better funding, better supports in the schools, better, like, it's not just teachers that work in school. I respect and love my teachers, and they do a lot more work than they're even paid for. And but there's a lot that goes into running a school, from the custodians to the librarians to educational assistants to admin assistants. We have food services workers, we have health specialists, rehab specialists, occupational, speech therapists. We have psychologists and psychiatrists that work with the schools to, to help us understand how to better help these students. And all of these functions and people have to be paid appropriately so they can come and do their job. Well, we started. We've done rallies. We've had letters. I had a letter campaign with my members to express to the employer and to the PBCO officer at the table that these are the real issues that are affecting us, that we are suffering in our everyday lives. We've, instead of being able to buy the healthy groceries, some of us are only being able to buy the bare minimums, but aren't necessarily the highest nutritional value. Like I said, we have people going to food banks, accessing any sort of social aid that they can get. We also have people who are leaving the district because there is no money in the district. They can't support themselves. We've had the most resignations this year than we've had in probably the past 6 years, because people are just fed up and they're moving on because there's no money to be had here. I'm not doing this job to get rich. I'm doing this job to help students and to support myself. But both of those things are coming out of balance with the current funding that the government is providing for schools, and it needs to change. Like, we need to rally. We need to send letters to the MLA, send letters to your trustees, vote for trustees that are labor friendly. And who want to work with us, because they're the ones who make the decisions. From NDP MLAs has been very positive. They're interested in hearing our stories and wanting to know what they can do to support us, and even giving us suggestions on things that we can do. Certain trustees who are labor friendly have been very helpful to us. And the general public, when we do talk to them, and a lot of them are actually quite shocked and surprised to hear how much money we make. Even some of my teachers that I've worked with over the years have been quite appalled to know that we make so little. But as far as the government that's in power, the UCP, I haven't personally heard anything from them that has been in any way positive.